Hello and welcome to AntipoDnD, a show in which a bunch of Australians talk all through the intro and see just how close they can cut it to me actually switching to this camera view. We also play Dungeons and Dragons in a setting partly inspired by prehistoric Australia and New Zealand. I am David, I'm the Dungeon Master. I am joined by April, Kynwin, Doug and Zindy, and this is our show. So, things have been happening to our heroes. They have been wandering around Heron's Perch, the first and foremost colony of the Kingdom of Taras in the Wandering Isles. They've met some people, they introduced themselves to the palace and were promptly ignored, but they were eventually able to attend a masquerade ball at said palace, in which shenanigans were had. One of them died, but was
I got better.
Immediately resurrected because his god happened to be walking past, and that they hoped was the extent of the drama for that evening.
Narrator, it wasn't.
At the end of the masquerade, when the unmasking happened, dramatically everybody reveals who they were this whole time. And it was discovered that one of the individuals there was a certain wizard named Kova Fen, who has met our heroes before and fought them and been defeated by them before escaping back to the ascendancy of Tarth, a nation of basically a majocracy of slavers. She's got a bit of a bone to pick with our heroes. And it turned out that at some point during the evening, she had spotted a certain magical artifact secreted away on the person of one of our heroes, stitched into Orsie's outfit. She was able to recognize to some extent that it was a weapon of some kind, and therefore used the opportunity after the unmasking, when presenting herself and Vetericus to the princess, to warn her of a threat presented by these individuals who have brought this terrible weapon into the royal palace in front of the person of the princess herself, while also arguing that the four heroes had not thwarted the Ascendancy's plans to overtake Providence, the city of Providence, but had actually unfairly and unjustifiably attacked her and her peaceful delegation, so that they could they could present themselves as saviors and heroes, and start to take control of the city after assassinating most of its councillors, which is not the case, we know, but it could look like that. An argument could be made.
Yeah, if you're a jerk.
So, there's like thousands of witnesses. Don't get me started.
The Heron Guard.
All of the witnesses inside the temple are dead, though. Just
not all of them. Not all of them.
No, but we will have to go to the Feywild to get one of the key witnesses.
The Heron Guard were quick to respond to an apparent threat against the princess. They found the weapon on Orsie's person, and the major domo of the princess, a wizard by the name of Crastus, immediately identified the item in question. Basically shit himself as a result. Well, not literally, but boy oh boy, he was not at all happy about this thing he had discovered.
I like shit.
Immediately
engaged. Jesus.
Definitely thinking about bricks.
And immediately ordered the Heron Guard to arrest Orsie and his colleagues, which is our four heroes and Orsie's friend Cass, who just happened to be there. So, we've finished that session with essentially our heroes not being dragged out, but escorted out, unless any of you want to resist.
Actually do the toddler tantrum.
I had a question, less resisting, more not necessarily goodwill, but how Okay, are the Heron's Guard manhandling us, or are they being polite and respectful?
They are not touching you, but they have all presented weapons and are
Okay.
pointing them at you,
That's a
They're
little
threatening to give a
hostile.
little prod.
making it
That's a little
very clear,
hostile.
you will go this way or we will use these.
Yes, fair. And is that a business-like procession, or is that a genuine, like, anger in their eyes type thing?
Hard to tell since a lot of them are wearing, the elite
the
ones are
helmet,
wearing the
yeah.
full face masks. But you think this is normal behavior when princess, when someone in government is threatened, the Heron Guard will immediately do. It's like the Secret Service. The president is in danger. Do everything you can to remove the danger. Then work out what's actually going on.
Yeah, so they're being professional, not aggressively hostile.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, I will go as ordered then. Perhaps with something of a dirty look at Orsi and a mutter under my breath that perhaps the princess might hear as we leave. Never trust an elf.
Ooh.
That
I was going to
nice.
say, Ossie's just going to be as fussy as he usually is, so really nothing different for him. Hey, look at his dad though. What's dad doing? Give me a visual.
Okay, I'll just get a perception check from Orsi.
He doesn't look angry, just disappointed.
He always looks disappointed. Oh, I've got the fancy new dice on, and I don't love them. 15.
I thought you took them off.
I thought I
Yeah.
did too, but I didn't.
These clockwork dice are hard to read.
I
Where'd
don't
they come
like
from?
them.
I don't know if I have them or not. I don't think I do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Subscriber dice.
Oh, right, okay.
15.
we don't
Um,
get them on the free model.
Your father's face is rather hard to read at the best of times. However, Orsi, you are better at reading it than most other people. You can see there's a mix. There's conflict there. It's like there's a mixture of disappointment and disbelief. Like he's sort of thinking, oh no, he's done it again. But this doesn't seem like him.
It's not usually a war criminal, no.
No. So he is not rushing to your aid at the moment, but you're not sure.
There's a lot of weapons.
Not entirely sure what he could do at this point anyway. So
To the dungeons.
the five of you, you are marched out of the ballroom. Orsi, actually, I'll get another perception roll from Orsi, please.
Sure. I have good perception. Ah! I swapped back to the fuzzy dice and they rolled me a 2 for an 8.
Okay.
Let's go.
Rude.
Not good enough. You did not see a thing.
You were unfaithful, and they're proving it. They're showing you who's
Oh,
boss.
don't say that to me. No.
You were so you are marched away to through the palace to the other wing, where you realise you've been marched into essentially the guardhouse section of the of the palace. So the Heron Guard actually live and work inside the palace. And in that section, there is a trapdoor which they pull open, and it leads down a flight of steps where it is cold, musty air comes out, even colder than it has been up here because it is becoming quite cool around here. And you are marched down into a dark set of steps into what is apparently a dungeon, a special royal dungeon. And
Is it nice?
I shall move you there now, and one of you will need to scream.
Someone said this in the messenger the other day. She's like, "Do you think it's a nice dungeon?"
I'll need one of you to scream cap it. So,
Well, I don't own any characters
Yeah,
with
I'm on it.
eyes.
So
yep, I'll be
Yes,
dropping
nice,
you
but-
in a moment. Once I find you, you're here somewhere. There you go, the AD&D party. But I won't drag the air skiff in because that would just be confusing.
It would be a strange addition to arrest our skiff.
It would be fun. No, they'd confiscate it. Are they going to confiscate our boat?
So
They don't know
you've
we
just
got it.
We can't do that. We don't even own it.
That's
You've
true. It's a
been
loan.
Rental.
brought from the steps at the north of this room. And in this room, as you come down, you see that there are a couple of more guards. One seated at the desk and immediately stands as you come in. The other is keeping watch. And there's a brief exchange, which basically boils down to, well, we've got more, more tonight. Yeah, solitary for each. We need to figure out what's going on here. And so the one behind the desk looks at for a view and says, okay, you'll have to surrender any weapons and any magical items, and you will be searched. So I recommend you volunteer.
We get them back.
And the captain, the guy at the desk says, that's not up to me.
Fine. Obviously, we'll hand over his 2 spell books.
Okay. Now, I think most of your weapons have already been surrendered before entering the palace anyway.
Yeah, I think Mozart's just got, the dagger in case he needs to eat some ham.
Yeah, Dagmar only bought Hush and her normal dagger. Everything else is at the hotel.
Cool.
I will surrender my
She will
daggers
hand
and the
them over.
lyre. But I would like to try and charm my way into keeping my cards.
Okay.
Because they're not magical, right? They're just
No,
a
they're
rocket
not.
deck. And I'm like, got to give me something to do, man.
They're not inherently magical. So after you've handed your things over, they'll then frisk you. And Vitericus, one of them, will find the cards. Have a quick look and sort of hold them up for the captain, who'll say to you, Vitericus, what are these for?
They're basically part of my routine, I guess you'd call it. It's how I make money out on the streets, and honestly, they stave off boredom and general assholery when I'm in a confined space.
Give me a persuasion check.
Cool. I'm out of costume, so they recognize the belt. Right? Because I'd imagine we're out of costume now.
Yeah.
You've fallen into his trap, Dungeon Master.
Damn it. Should have made you surrender the belt.
Our armor, Vitericus and mine's armor is magical. Do we have to, take it off?
Do they have to strip?
Full Monty theme.
Dags doesn't wear a lot else.
23.
Awkward.
And he says,
23, sorry, yes.
all right, you can keep those.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that they're likely to find in your persons that you have not surrendered that might be of interest? Nope.
They find a very tiny item of a hadrosaur, an Metabotosaurus.
Oh, you brought throwaway? Excellent.
Never. Don't have throwaway on me.
Yeah, they will look at that and say, what is this?
A toy.
It's a jade figure of a Metabotosaurus.
Is it magical?
Just a look.
Yes.
You'll have to hand it over.
Oh, fine.
So they take that. And you see
And
that
then
they proceed through
I got
these. Some of them
like a
proceed
list,
through
man.
these 2 doors at the north. The left, if you get a glimpse through, you can see there's basically drawers and wardrobes and chests in there. And the other seems to lead to an armory of some kind. And that's where your gear is being stored, and the doors are then locked. And then each of you are escorted to your own individual private cell.
Private cell. They got on sweets.
Flown in weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is going to be
So
weird.
in game, it's been 3 days since we've been in the other dungeon? In the other jail?
Mhm.
Nice. This is a fancier jail though, so we're moving up in the wood, guys.
So
Who are you saying that to? We've been separated.
Yep. And each of you, as you go into your cell, as you are escorted into the cell, they are bars, they are pushed open, you are put in, the bars are closed, they are locked, and then you see the guards who put you in there raise their hand, and it looks like they're tracing some sigils
Yo, we're
on the
warded
frame
and
of-
everything.
on the frame of the gate.
Jesus.
And as soon as they finish, all sound coming from outside of your cell vanishes.
Oh, fuck.
You
They
can,
tinnitus.
you can still hear yourself breathing. You can still scrape your boot against the floor and hear it scraping, but there is no longer any sound coming from outside of the space that you're in.
Silence.
Each of these rooms is just a 10-foot square space carved out of the sandstone that's native to this area.
Dagmar will notice that.
There are basically small grates covering drains for whatever fluid or other items you might need to dispose of while you're in there. Otherwise, it is completely bare.
Uncomfy.
Boring.
And, let me see. Based on where you are, Morzod, can I get a perception check from you, please? This is something you might have spotted as you are being escorted to your cell.
Okay, Percepti. That is a 21, sir.
21. Well done. So, I don't know if this ping is visible to you.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. In this cell, as you were escorted past, you saw someone slumped against the wall at the back of the cell.
Okay.
Is it the fox?
It's the fox. No longer wearing his foxy head,
She
but
honey trapped him.
still very clearly wearing the rest of the outfit. And Morzod, you will recognize him as the actor who was the lead in the play. And he seems to be just slumped on the ground in the corner with his knees up and his head down, resting down on his arms. He does not
Buddy.
seem to notice you as you go past. So, this is where you are. You are told nothing about how long you'll have to wait or what's going to happen next. Do any of you do anything?
Can we still see out of our... Is it a solid door?
You can. It is a barred door, so you can see out, but you can only see the wall that's opposite you.
Oh, okay.
So we can't see each other.
Yeah, all of the cells have been deliberately set up so that you cannot see anything that is happening around you except for the occasional guard walking past, and you cannot hear.
Oh, I can't send a
anything-
message because I don't
anything
have
that-
my spell books. This is BS.
Morzod unravels sash and, sort of rearranges his costumey bits so that he's got a little bit of a pillow. And well, he has arranged himself so that he can see out the door if it, gets opened or if someone comes by. But otherwise, he stretches out and lies down and relaxes.
Okay.
Hands propped under his head. He seems at peace and comfy and not at all worried.
Cool. Well, he's done nothing wrong, has he?
No.
Dagmar is going to pray a little, just quickly.
Can you give me the substance of that prayer, please?
Yeah. So she's going to close her eyes because she thinks that helps. And she's going to be like, "Hi, Faenothwin. It's me again. I just wanted to give you a heads up that we're in a different dungeon and it's not our fault again. I think this is a Tarth-related thing. Anyway, thought you should know. Love, Dagmar."
Just a straight up charisma check, please.
The only way to talk to gods.
I do very much enjoy your prayer style.
It's based on Orsie's letter writing style. Characters, sorry. Where's my app? On why don't I ever open this before I have my first roll? Charisma. That is a natural one.
Ooh.
Wow.
He's never going to talk to you again.
I'm just being helpful. I'm not
Faye
asking for anything.
Northwind was in bed. He hears your prayer and kind of rolls over and goes, "Ugh."
So
Faye
if I,
Northwind hits mute.
simply say you do not receive a response, and you don't know what that means.
Okay. Dagmar is going to continue pacing around the room.
Actually, can you
Not gonna
Can you give me
phone.
an intelligence check, please?
Just a straight up.
Yep, this is a memory thing.
Nat 20.
Nope. Nope. With a 4, nothing. You have no idea why Fane Althman would not respond.
Closing your eyes doesn't help.
Okay, it's just crossing off different things to do. Let me pray.
What is
Learning.
what is Vitericus doing?
I think I'm just sitting cross-legged on the floor flipping cards. So I'll do the standard sort of 3-deck or 3-card pull to see what I get. And I have shuffled and pulled from my Tarokka deck. And I have wound up with the Conjurer, heralding the coming of some unexpected threat. I'm like, well, a bit late for that one. The Enchanter, some kind of inner turmoil that comes from confusion or false information. Again, a little bit late for that one. And then I've pulled the Healer, which is either about healing or some kind of curse. I'm like, huh.
Oh, cool.
Okay,
Cool.
good.
That's not
could be good.
foreboding.
Could be fucked. He says to no one in particular, and his voice drives him slightly crazy. Is that what I sound like? Oh, I hate this.
And what is Orsi doing?
He's probably right up against the bars of the door. With his hands around the bars and his head pressed to them. Looking not impressed.
Okay. After a few minutes, a guard will just walk past holding a lantern and will just give you a glance, make sure you're not doing anything magical in there, and then just keep walking. How long are you going to stay in this posture?
What, up against the door?
Yeah.
For as long as it takes. He's not sitting down, no way.
Okay.
This is a spite situation.
He's got 1,000 years of life left in him. He can wait for an hour or 10.
And I'm
Feeling
going
bad
to-
for the humans, for the mortals who are slowly.
He feels bad for Cass,
Yep.
getting thrown into a cell by himself.
Who's in another cell, you don't know where. Dressed up as a penguin.
This was a penguin in a cell. How sad is that?
Dagmar has changed her armor since she's allowed to keep it from her dragon outfit to like really comfy tracky pajamas.
PJs, yeah.
illusory tracksuit.
Some little slippers.
Is Glow in here? Where's Glow?
You do not know where Glow is. That is the perception check you failed as you were being escorted down.
Oh, did they put her in a little tiny magic cage? That's so sad. Slam her in there.
What a strange place for Orsi's mind to go.
I think that's what he's worried about.
But not
Absolutely
out of
that.
character, I'd say.
No. Stranger things have happened. Okay.
Time passes. Very hard to tell how much time. None of you have taken the keen mind feat, I'm glad to say. So
It's a game killer, that one.
seconds turn into minutes. Minutes turn into, well, many minutes. Could be an hour. But you're all quite bored, quite frustrated. There's a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety, I assume.
I'm practically snoozing.
Eventually, the first person to have anything to do is... Actually, I'll do a roll to see 2 candidates to speak to first. That is going to be Vitericus is the first to be addressed.
Oh,
Rip us.
perfect. Let's go. Hard mode. Hard mode for the guards. Interrogating him.
So,
Have fun, suckers.
He's going to interrogate them.
Don't get distracted by the bell.
2 people come and stand at the gate in front of you. And one of them traces a pattern on the wall, and immediately you can start to hear distant voices echoing down the hallway as you realize that you can now hear what is happening outside your cell.
Mm-hmm.
And the two people standing there is, once again, Crestus, the major domo, to the princess, and a Heron Guard captain who has removed his face mask. Now, you don't recognize him, but his bearing suggests that he is the individual who spoke to you all earlier when Morzod died and undied.
Sure.
It's a really stressful night.
And so the two of them are standing there, and the guard captain says, "Prisoner, we have questions for you."
I think I'm still sitting cross-legged on the floor flipping cards, and I'll give them a quick glance, but I don't think I'll stand up, and I'll say, "Of course you do. How can I help?"
He says, "Okay, well, first of all, how do you know Orsi Lichtenbraun?"
I spoke to him once, and we got to know each other a little bit. No, I'm sorry. That is a deflecting answer, and I shouldn't do that. We met on our journey here to the Wandering Isles, and have been traveling together ever since.
Why do you travel with him?
Well, to begin with, to be honest, I had to. There was no way out. And then by the time we had resolved that particular issue, there was safety in numbers, and so here we are.
Safety from whom or what?
Oh, all sorts of things. I mean, I will fix the guard captain with a pointed stare here. Dangers lurk in even the safest places.
The wizard, Crassus, says, "We need you to be more specific. What exactly are you frightened of?"
Well, frightened is a strong word, but I am aware that there are, in this particular end of the world, I mean, I guess they're still gods, right? Powerful beings that have some sort of control over the world around them.
He raises an eyebrow. So, you're worried about gods?
Hey, you guys were here before, right? When my friend died?
The captain says, "Yes, we certainly saw him fall and rise again."
Wonderful. And you remember how I told you that was Engadon, the All-Slaver?
I do remember how you told me that.
Wonderful. Is that specific enough for you?
And the captain frowns and then says, "Why did you come to Heron's Perch?"
Well, among other things, to introduce ourselves to whoever the mayor of Heron's Perch is, or was, I guess, at that point, until they were sent home, I believe. Is that correct?
Major Domo says, "That's irrelevant. Just answer the questions."
Well, but see, they were why we were coming, you see, to introduce ourselves to, the lords or the heads of respective cities around the place.
And the captain says, "This is in your capacity as a counselor of Providence, yes?"
Yeah, well, yes, primarily.
And finally says, "And where are you staying in town?"
Oh, what's it called? The place with the bath.
Have you forgotten, or is Vitericus forgotten, or is Vitericus being deceitful?
That's metagaming.
I think Vitericus is making a show of being deceitful before eventually he says, what's his name? The charming orc who runs the place. He was here tonight, actually. You guys wouldn't happen to remember his name, would you?
Captain turns to Crestus and says, nods. It's Nod's guest house. Crestus doesn't seem to know the place, but nods. Sorry.
Wonderful. Are they done with me at this point, then? If that was their last question?
Yes, in fact, Crestus is reaching up to...
Wonderful. Just before you go, I do hope Her Royal Highness is okay. If anything were to happen to her, well, it would be a stake through my heart.
And with that, Crestus draws the symbol and reestablishes the ward. Can you give me an insight check, please?
Certainly. Passive insight of 21 and roll the insight of 27.
Sending you a message.
You said 27? Jesus.
27 on the inside roll.
Okay, next. It is Dagmar. You are approached by these same two individuals who go through the same routine. How do they find you?
She's right there in the cell.
Leaning against the wall in my pajama set, chilling.
Okay. And again, guard captain says, "Prisoner, we have questions for you."
Oh, thank God. I'm so bored. Place is really boring. You should, have activities.
He says, he ignores you and says, "How do you know Orsi Lichtenbraun?
He's my bud.
How do you know him?"
Oh, how did I meet him? We were on a boat going from the mainland to Providence, and it sank. And I kind of met him while it was sinking, and we got on a boat together to escape the sinking boat. And then we washed up together, and then we walked to Providence together. And by then we were just may as well keep hanging out, I didn't know anyone here. So he's really grumpy though, so I had to kind of stick to him until he just got used to me. But that's fine.
Okay. So why did you come to Heron's Perch?
I got a new skiff, and I really wanted to test it out. So the others wanted to come here, so I was like, I'll drive.
Skiff?
Yeah, it's a little airship, but it only goes a couple feet above the ground. We called it the Titan, after that thing that sank the boat on. It's actually really cute and also really fun.
The captain looks a bit confused, but Crestus says, "It sounds like Tarthian technology."
I don't know. It was given to us by someone at the academy. But I can't tell you who. It's a job thing. I kind of signed an NDA.
Crestus says, "You mean the Coruscant Academy?"
Yeah.
I see. All right. We'll be back in a moment.
Oh, okay. Can you bring, a thing for me to do?
You've been shut off.
Okay.
Morzod, they approach you.
Morzod is still lying down, looking as relaxed as anyone could possibly. What the actual fuck? He is so chill.
Oh, this is the most rest I've had in...
Yeah, it's nice and quiet in here.
So
no one's talking to me.
Same routine.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know Orsi Lichtenbraun?
Oh well, he was on a boat that we was on when we was going from the mainland over to here, and it kind of got attacked by a giant. It's a sea thing, with lots of arms and shit. It was that was quite a night. But anyways, we all sort of got attacked together, and then so we thought, we've got to get to Providence, right? So then we walked to there together, and yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, but that's how we met, on a boat.
Why did you come to Heron's Perch?
Heron's Perch. Well, there was a few reasons. Because partly I was doing this counsellor business for Providence, which I don't know. They just told me I was a good sort for it, but I just do helping out and all that kind of stuff. But let's see what else. Aussie had a friend coming in from the. Well, we come and meet up with him because he'd been on a boat for a while, and lucky his boat wasn't eaten by anything, so that was good. But yeah, I mean, and the other thing was I wouldn't mind coming up here. Do you know, I really like to try all the local brews every time we go to somewhere. And I was seeing Heron's Perch, they've got to have some nice brews around the place. So he said, come and try sample all the specials and all that kind of thing. So that's part of why I'm here.
Crastus, the wizard, says, "Is that a symbol of Bruin Lachs, I see?"
Hey, Bruin Lach, that's right. I came up here as a cleric of him, but I've been thinking about that, whether I was really want to be a cleric or not. Had a good, had a bit of a talk with him and whatnot. But yeah, no, he's a good sort. He's a good sort. He's telling me that he was there at the ball as well, which is good and lucky because apparently Angidon got me. They told me I died. I couldn't even tell. But I'll come back to life because he was there looking after us. Yeah.
And Crastus, the wizard, says, "Wait a minute. Are you saying not only are you a follower of Bruin Lach, but a contemporary of him?"
I mean, if you have a chat with him, is that what that means? Is a contemporary?
Wait, so you just pray to him and he responds? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, I'll buy him a drink and he buys me one. That's how he works.
Okay. Are you speaking figuratively now?
He speaks figuratively, like never.
Figurative.
Have you physically met your god?
Yes. I'm allowed to say that.
And you're saying your god was at the ball tonight?
He was. Did you say he would? Wait, am I allowed to tell what costumes people was in? Because our masking happened?
And Crestus says, yes, that is the point of the unmasking.
Right. Yeah, well, he was the bear. It was great. I thought that was a fantastic outfit. Don't know where he got it. Probably bought it in, a marketplace or something or somewhere or won it in a bet. But yeah, he looked fantastic. Anyways. But yeah, I mean, he was there, and it was. I mean, he don't make a big deal of it, obviously, because he don't want people, making a fuss or anything if he's just there to have a good time. But.
They say, "We'll be back in a moment," and he traces the symbol, and the two just stand there and have a short conversation with each other that you can't hear a single word. And it seems to be a lot of the captain of the Heron Guard explaining stuff to Crastus. And Crastus, you can give me an insight check if you want, please.
Yeah. Man, I'm not going to do well at this, but I wish I would. Let me just find the tab.
Got a nat 20, baby. Nat 20.
Now that you've said it. Sorry, what was that? Insight?
Yes, please.
Jesus, you guys, that's a flaccid 20.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you get the impression that some of what you've been saying has actually spun them around a bit. Finally, they retrace the sigil. Sound comes through into the cell again, and Crastus, the wizard, says, "One more question. What do you know of the dodecahedron?"
The what?
That'll do. And he traces a signal and shuts it off. And then, Dagmar, you are again visited by these two. The same ritual, and they then ask the follow-up question. what do you know of the dodecahedron?
I don't think I know of any the dodecahedrons. I am aware of the shape as a general concept. It's not the best shape to build stuff out of.
Hexagons are way better.
Yeah, it's very unstackable.
And then they proceed to Vitericus. Same question. What do you know of the dodecahedron?
Did Orsi ever tell me about the dodecahedron?
He didn't tell anyone.
You didn't tell anyone shit.
I feel like I intended to a lot, but then I just never did because.
Okay, cool.
He kept forgetting.
Yeah.
Because April kept forgetting. I forgot I had a nuke for like 3 months, man.
Yeah, because I do remember you were going to, and then okay, never quite eventuated. That's all good. Wasn't sure if it had happened off screen or not. No, okay, cool. So in that case, then, Vitericus will say, "What dodecahedron?"
Por favor.
Now, can I get
Least fucking convincing.
from the three
Even
of
when
you,
he's telling the truth.
so Dagmar, Vitericus, and Morzod, can I get persuasion checks? Morzod with advantage.
Thank you.
And they recognize the belt.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not actively fighting them.
24.
That is a natty 20 for a total of 27.
Oh my god.
Nice. We are
Okay.
persuasively idiots.
And a 19
sorry?
for a 31.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
You almost had him, Dungeon Master, nearly.
Now,
That's
finally,
like my first nat 20 in months, so I hope it's useful.
finally,
Absolved.
Orsi, these two same individuals approach your cell.
Oh my goodness.
One traces the sigil, and the guard captain says, "Prisoner, please step away from the bars."
Yes. He steps back.
Says, Orsi Lichtenbraun,
Yes.
your father, the captain says, apparently your father arrived in town but a few days ago.
All right, don't see what that has to do with me, but you're correct, yes.
It has been alleged that you brought a dreadful weapon into the presence of Her Royal Highness Princess Imrana Ras II of the Kingdom of Tauras. Did you do this?
Did I bring it with me? Yes, I did.
Why did you do this?
Well, I wasn't going to leave a deadly weapon in the hotel room with our bag of holding. So the safest place for it was with me.
Guard captain frowns, but Crastus says, Are you honestly trying to say that you are not planning to use it in the presence of the princess?
For what end?
He says, how would I know? I am not one who I would never imagine the death of my princess. And yet there are
And
always...
I wouldn't imagine the death of myself in the same room. Stupid would that be?
Give me a persuasion check, please.
I love this. The summary is they're a pack of idiots, and this one's too vain to kill himself. Rip.
Yeah. I got a 5.
My guy.
I have a +0 to persuasion. Charisma is my dump stat.
From down... No.
That shouldn't really be. I mean, is it persuasion? I mean, I suppose it is persuasion if they have to try and believe him. But I mean, it is true. So true.
I mean, it's telling the truth. I'm trying as well as I can.
They trace the sigil. Silence returns, but they don't leave. They stand and again have a conversation with each other. Give me an insight check, please, Orsi.
Sure. I have good insight. I do not have good insight.
You have
Oh,
anger
thanks.
dice.
20. Now I have a 20.
That's all right. That's all right.
A soft 20. Flat.
Gentle
You get the
20.
impression, just from their body language, that Crestus the wizard is skeptical about something and is very concerned about something, but the guard captain, you think he might be going to bat for you at this point.
Hey,
Let's go.
Um,
What a shit.
win him over.
Come on. Open the door again. Let me finish talking. Not done yet.
After about a minute of them conversing, they do the thing again. Sound is coming through again.
Mhm.
And and Crestus says, when did you learn what the dodecahedron was capable of?
When I identified it in the dragon's hoard that belonged to the white dragon that we killed in Goldenford.
There's
If you must know, we also found a flying broom.
They both exchange looks with each other, and then say, can you think of a reason why none of your colleagues thought to mention that this came from a white dragon's hoard?
Did you specifically ask them? I mean, really?
And Crestus, the guard captain, says, so you're saying that you slew this dragon out at Golden Ford?
I didn't slay it. Morzod killed it with a floating magic chair.
Still 100% truthful. I fucking
I'm not
love
lying.
Where's Fainothan when you need him?
He should be proud of us, damn it.
And Crestus says that you slew, plural, as a group, that you slew a dragon.
Yes.
In Golden Ford.
Yes.
It turns
It's
to
not called
the
Golden Ford anymore.
turns to
I
the,
know that. I couldn't remember what it was called.
Isn't it opportunity?
Yeah.
turns to the captain
Peace,
and
love,
says,
opportunity.
weren't there stories coming out of Golden Ford about, and the guard captain says, yes, something about pirates taking over. I've not heard anything about a dragon.
Yes, because the dragon was underground past like the secret door in the governor's old mansion. Pirates have indeed taken over. Though they have turned a new leaf, it is now known as the Town of Opportunity, I think they call it.
Look at each other and then turn back to you and say, okay, so let's say you found this item in in a dragon's hoard. You immediately identified it.
Yes, correct.
What did you do with it after that?
I put it in my pocket.
Why did you tell your colleagues about it at all?
Well, they saw it. I didn't elucidate on what it did, no.
Why not?
Because I work for the Academy.
The Coruscant Academy.
Correct.
Crestus says, and why would that stop you from telling your friends that you're carrying a deadly powerful magical weapon?
Honestly, a lot happened down there. We fought an ancient white... I don't think it was an ancient white dragon, but it was really old. And then we had a seance. There were ghosts. I saw a man turn into ice and shattered before my eyes. And then from that point to here, a lot of other stuff happened.
The guard captain says, you mentioned that you work for the Academy.
Correct.
In what capacity do you work for the Coruscant Academy?
You have to talk to my boss.
Can't say.
I hear the voice of Morzod drift through the magic runes.
We're still
He is
in
always
deep
with her.
level.
He's with us. He is with us always.
Yeah.
You may speak to my supervisor, Izud, of the Providence Coruscant Academy branch. I am not at liberty to say exactly what I do, but I can say it involves in recovering magical artifacts.
The guard captain looks at Crastus and says, "Do you know the Zizod?" And Crastus says, "No, I don't."
What a loser.
Not much of a major domo, are you?
He's more of a minor domo.
Crastus's face sours, but the guard captain says, "Is there anybody at the academy here in Heron's Perch who can speak for you?"
Oh, yeah?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, besides
the headmaster.
someone who is not your direct blood relation.
Oh, please, I'd really rather if you didn't speak to him, actually. But no, the headmaster, Headmaster Serenity. I'm sure she would be happy to vouch for me.
They look at each other, they nod, and then they're about to draw the sigil again, but then guard captain pauses and says, "Is there anything else you want to tell us before we..."
Yes, I do. None of my friends had anything to do with this. None of them knew anything, I swear. They're idiots, all of them, in a very lovingly way. And especially Cass. If you threw him in the dungeon by himself, I would be extremely displeased about it. And where's my familiar?
Where's my elephant?
First of all, how dare you?
First of all, rude.
He's going to get a Karen haircut next.
He then draws the sigil. You don't get any response to your stream of...
Double rude.
Yeah.
How very dare.
More time passes as you are once again left in isolation in your cells.
Oh, damn. What was he has demons he can't be alone with?
I kind of feel like I should be making you do a sanity check, except D&D doesn't have mechanics for that.
Suddenly it turns into Call of
Cthulhu.
You're all warlocks now.
Roll for initiative.
So I am going to do some rolls, because there are some conversations happening that none of you are privy to.
I hate conversations I'm not involved in. This is ridiculous.
It's the worst kind for Vatericus.
Right?
And
Jeez.
Doug, I imagine.
It demands a recount.
Well, yes, that too, but...
Okay. So another 2 hours pass.
Oh.
Until...
Dagmar is carving a small fresco in her cell.
Aussie
With
is
a belt
going
buckle.
insane. I don't think people who use magic regularly are okay in the head.
Until eventually the guard captain returns. He is not with Crastus this time, but he walks with 2 other guards who, one by one, open each of your cells and escort you back into that first foyer where you were
back
brought
to the
in.
lobby.
So you have all been reunited, and Cass is there with you.
Is he still dressed as a penguin?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, though it looks
Yeah.
like he's carrying most of his outerwear. You get the impression that he had basically decided to just meditate for the time and had sort of largely stripped off, so he felt a bit more comfortable.
Smart man.
And once you're all assembled, the captain says specifically to you, Orsi, he says, "So we've spoken to Serenity at the Coruscant Academy. We're also spoken to by your father."
You got spoken to by my father. Yes, sorry. That tracks.
You
Yeah, that's about right.
You see a sly raise of the eyebrow with that, and he says, "So the headmaster, Master Serenity, has confirmed that you are an employee of the Academy with special interest in magical artifacts. That does explain some of your actions. Your father also added to this story that he vouched that you might be reckless, thoughtless, and incompetent, but in no way malicious or treasonous.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Wow.
I have chosen to believe.
Morzon's got an eyebrows up, yikes, facial expression going on.
Cass,
Dagmar's like seems legit.
Cass is exhausted, but you can see that he's enjoying this nonetheless.
Bitch.
And the captain says, Crastus seems less convinced, but has chosen to accept the evidence that has been presented. However, this does not mean you are free to go. He says, he then looks at all of you except for Orsi and specifies, it's not entirely true, the four of you will be free to go momentarily. There are some procedures to take care of. But he looks to you, Orsi, and says, you, however, whether intentional or not, you have put our princess in great danger tonight by bringing such an item so close to her. That is a crime that I cannot overlook. It is now, but because the crime is against her person, it is up to her to pass judgment on what your fate will be.
Goody.
And she's stated that she is prepared to hold private court as soon as we are ready to deliver you to her. And
God, Captain, if I may interject.
You may.
Can I speak freely?
By all means.
Any royal who can be so swayed with such a little whisper in the ear from a Tarthian, no less, isn't fit to rule, as far as I'm concerned. That is all.
Why is the Tarthian is the Tarthian chick not under any sort of surveillance? Because
Tarthian chick, Dagmar, that was Cova Fen. You have
Right, yeah.
1,000 witnesses
Yeah.
in Providence.
What has
Yeah,
happened to
so-
Cova Fen, this peddler of lies?
because you were
Good
super
grief.
shifty when you thought that our skiff was Tarthian manufacturing, but you had a literal Tarthian pointing the finger at us.
Yes, these actually blew us up.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
I'm from a long lot. My family does nothing but serve the crown, and this is how I'm treated. Unbelievable.
I literally saw a guy explode into pins and kill everyone in the assembly. It was traumatic.
Finally, the captain guard just barks out, "Enough!" And he looks around. You can see that the other guards in here have all, they're normally stoic facades have broken slightly. They've never actually seen their captain yell at a prisoner like this. And the captain says, "You five, follow me." And he leads you into the armory up here,
Ooh,
Ooh.
where
an
you're...
armoire.
Are we about to get confided in or police brutaled?
Oh no.
Oh,
and
Be good,
it's,
could be bad.
he closes the door behind you
Oh, we're in the sin bin.
and says, "Okay, first of all, I must advise you not to speak against the princess publicly in such a manner, especially as someone who has just been accused of threatening her life."
To be
I
fair, that is the
Tarthian.
last thing someone who wanted to kill her would do.
And he says, "Secondly, I have concluded that you are indeed, perhaps,
Idiots.
well-meaning idiots, if that is the word you would choose to use.
I'll get that a lot.
It's fine.
Who do not pose a threat to the princess or to the stability of the crown. However, I am concerned, not by you, but by certain changes that have been happening in the city. And he pauses, goes to the door, and actually puts his ear against it for a moment.
You do inside check?
Please
All
do.
of the other guards suddenly pile away from the door because they were stacked up like Scooby-Doo.
Just
Inside
Aussie,
check.
or can everyone sort of get a sense of where the captain's
I would love it if someone else would love to jump in on this inside check, please.
I mean, Mozart's going to insight, but like...
Sure.
I rolled a 3 out of 5. Angry Aussie's pissed.
That's why you need us.
Insight. Dagmar's giving him a discerning stank eye.
Yeah.
27 on Vidi.
Yeah, also,
Wait.
you don't really know.
Ooh, natural 20.
What do I press for insight? I don't think I'm trained in it.
You press
wait, there it
insight.
is.
You press insight, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there's my
Aussie-
second natty 20 for the session.
Damn, we had
grief.
2 nat 20s on insight. We know his life story.
So, Aussie, you're still expecting a bit of police brutality at this point. The rest of you,
Wait, not my face.
the rest of you, get the sense that the guard captain is nervous, and this is borderline conspiratorial, but not wicked, evil, criminal underground.
He's not cackling.
I'm very worried about something, but I'm worried that if I talk about it, people might think that I'm the bad guy.
Complex motivations.
He's being oppressed.
He turns back to you and pauses for a long time, and you can see his face is softened a bit. He is no longer the stern guard captain being stoic. He is, in fact, I'd say all three of you, the combination of 2 natural 20s and a 27 is enough for all three of you to realize that he seems, you feel like you've suddenly, this is the first time you've seen that he feels alone at the moment, and he is worried, and he might have finally found some people in a situation, in a room where he can talk freely. And
I'm so sorry it's us.
and he says, I'm concerned for, I do not know why Governor Toll was stood down. By all reports, and by my observation, he was doing an excellent job. My understanding is that he had a private conversation with the princess, and next thing I knew, he was no longer in charge. No reason has been given. He has been secured, ready to be deported, and no one has spoken to him since. I'm concerned for his well-being, which was my job until it became not my job, because the princess became my primary charge. I cannot check on Governor Toll, former Governor Toll, because he is no longer my responsibility. My responsibilities lie entirely here. I need you to find out what has happened to the governor, and to confirm whether this really is the princess.
You don't reckon it's actually her?
God.
Interesting.
He says, I don't know.
I mean, that would explain why she's listening to a Tarthian.
You do seem like a pretty clever fellow. If you've got doubts, then
Says
yeah.
that wizard of hers knows what to say. He presented all the documents, but it's just, my gut is telling me that something is very wrong around here, and I cannot put my finger on it.
Oh, yeah. I know that feeling.
Is that putting your finger on or putting your fingers on it? Like,
But first, and he looks at you and Orsi and says, "First, I am sorry, but the princess will decide what happens to you. May I persuade you?
That's fine.
May I persuade you to be
Please.
humble and to beg forgiveness?"
It'll be like acting, Horsey.
Oh, no, it's not acting. I really am quite the sycophant. It's quite easy. Yes.
he really doesn't want to die.
I mean, that's good. I thought you'd be mad, but no, this is good. Sycophant away.
Please, no. I have...
Captain, are we allowed to take our possessions back now?
He says, "You'll receive them in a moment. I want to make a show of it."
Wonderful. Orsi, when you pick up your gear,
Yes.
take
My
the
books.
drift globe.
Why?
Because it's yours.
No reason. It's backup. Don't
Oh,
be
it is
afraid
mine,
to
isn't
use
it?
it full power.
I did find it.
Right.
That's a good point, Morzord. Yeah.
Should you need to make
If you
a dazzling getaway.
Are you talking about that fucking flashlight?
That's the one.
And
What's a flashlight?
he then adds,
Oh, it's
It's a
a light
light
that
what
flashes.
flashes.
you can see
I see.
They said as one.
he's starting...
Poor God.
The dwarven thing.
Is massaging his brow and saying, please, do not cast any spells in the palace.
I
That's
will
how
not
it's like a thing. It's just a
cast.
thing.
I will not cast any spells in the palace.
And
I won't.
also I need you to understand that if you are unable to bring me any useful information, I must disavow any conversation we've had.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Good.
I literally won't remember your name tomorrow.
He then
He's
goes
alive,
through, because you're in the armory, he then picks out the weapons that you'd had put aside and returns them to you, opens the door and says, quite loudly, "So are we clear? I will never see you down here again. I will not be so forgiving next time."
Like
Don't
this-
get caught. Got it.
Dagmar.
What?
And he goes into the other room, brings out any items that weren't weapons that you put aside, returns those to you, and then escorts each of you up the steps. You move through the guard chambers that are above you. You then escorted through some beautiful corridors and hallways into the... It's not a throne room, because this was the government house. It was the house of the governor, who is not royalty, even though he was the representative of the crown. But so instead of your classic throne room with a throne raised up and everybody coming and kneeling and or sitting on pews or whatever, it's more like a conference room, where the governor would sit at a table, take counsel, and then make his decisions. Now, as you step in, you can see there is the princess seated on this large wooden throne. It's not overly impressive. It is not something a king or queen would sit on normally. But it is nicely carved. It has heron motifs in it. It's got wings coming out as armrests.
It's the big
And,
chair.
Of course, there are heron guard all through, and the guard captain escorts you in, and then actually just before he escorts you in, he says to each of you, you are to bow or kneel, and do not stand until you are told to, and you are never to take a seat in this room. You understand?
Yes.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
Sure. Yes.
So he leads you in. There is the princess, and he says, "Your Highness, I present the 5 individuals at the center of the disturbance, including the young elf that that we discussed a few moments earlier. He has agreed to. Let me rephrase that, because this is David sort of thinking through how would the guard captain be speaking to the princess, and he says he is ready to face your judgment. And with that, we're going to take a short break.
Excellent.
So don't go anywhere. We will be back in just a moment to see what becomes of young Orsi. Bye. And we are back after a extended break because we were suddenly distracted by there's something happening in the UK. So, where were we? That's right. We are in Heron's Perch.
Political intrigue.
Our
Orsi has just been dropped in front of Boris Johnson.
heroes have been freed from the dungeon, but are now face to face with the princess, who has taken over this town and replaced the governor. With the yes, and Orsi has been presented to the princess for the princess to pass judgment on what should happen to this poor, misguided young elf. And the princess, on seeing you, Orsi, and hearing the guard captain speak, will say, well, my advisors seem to believe that you acted recklessly in bringing this item into my presence. I must say I am disappointed that one of my subjects would take the life of a member of the crown so lightly. But what do you have to say for yourself?
My deepest apologies, Your Highness. I was simply acting my part as part of the Coruscant Academy. I did not even think. Clearly, that's why I'm brought before you today. So please accept my apologies. And a big bow. Trying not to say anything else because he might step in it again.
And the princess says, will you swear to me that you will never, ever do anything to threaten or endanger my life again?
Oh, you have my word, Your Highness.
She turns to Crassus, the wizard, who is standing next to her. And
Crassus.
He frowns but gives a reluctant nod, and she turns back and says, young Lichtenbraun, you are free to come and go throughout Heron's Perch, but you are banned from this house and the grounds around it until I decide otherwise. Do you understand?
I understand completely. A fitting punishment. Thank you, Your Highness.
If you attempt to enter this palace by any means, then the guards will be instructed to forcibly prevent you.
He nods.
Very well. You may all go.
Bowing.
Yep. Mozart had taken a knee and doesn't say anything. He knows this is not a time for him to say things.
Okay.
Dagmar will help
do a
Cass out.
dwarven bow, which I assume is pretty similar to a standard bow.
Probably just a bow. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a bit wider and a bit like it's got a better center of
Dirtier.
So
Lower to the ground.
just checking that you are all bowing and leaving. You're not, trying to pickpocket
No.
the guard captain or something like that.
No,
No.
we're
No.
saying nothing. and we're
Sorry. Did
touching
I?
No one.
I rolled to seduce the princess.
Is the guard captain wearing a helm? Is he still wearing a helm?
He has
Or is
he has put his mask back on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then no point in trying to read his face because I can't see it.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I will be all smiles as I bow. Reasonably friendly, sort of continuing the warmth from the evening's activities, and I'll occasionally kick a glance over at the court jester. No, the major domo.
Yeah. Sick
How's he
bird.
vibing?
You say that to his face.
I don't think I will in this particular context, but
Did we ever get a visible description of the majordomo? Is he young, old,
I'm imagining
middle-aged?
him as Domo-kun.
He is relatively young. He is human.
Relatively young. Okay,
He is human. In his mid to late 20s.
Wow.
Wow.
Mr. Sassy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why would
shit.
you have? Gee, he's young. All
I
right.
mean, clearly it's conspiracy, but sure.
Okay,
Ooh,
so
we should go see how much
Is the
information we
guard
can get out of the
captain-
old guy.
Is the guard captain walking us out?
he leads you to the door, but then once you step out, he closes it behind you and goes back in. So
I've just sent you a private message DM just as a observational thing. So no rush on that. But
What time is it, by the way?
Doug,
Well, whenever.
can you actually give me a perception check, please?
sure,
Secrets are happening.
26.
Oh,
26.
one day you roll a 1.
I thought I
you
rolled
rolled
a
a
5 to be honest, but
Okay, I have answered.
thank you.
The time is, it's now so late at night that it's almost dawn.
Okay, yeah.
Mozod's used to being much more drunk at this point.
So is that unusual for a masquerade ball, or is that like a super special,
Honestly,
exciting, boring edition?
there's all sorts of political stuff going on under the surface. Well, where are we, by the way? Are we out of the palace now? At the
Yeah.
government house?
I
We
assume that
heading
you'll
home?
make your way out of the palace and immediately leave.
Yeah, if
Crown
we're
Land.
headed... Yeah. We'll talk when we're back at the hotel room.
Okay. So let's fast track. Assume you all make your way back to Nod's guest house.
Where's my familiar? Hello?
As you loudly proclaim, "Where's my familiar?" walking down the street, an owl flies down and lands on your shoulder and nuzzles your neck.
Oh, God.
Is it actually Glow or is it just an owl?
Random owl.
And yes, Glow. And,
Heard you were looking for owls.
Melville.
Roll for Glow.
Melville!
Melville crawls down the front of a building where he had been keeping watch, and climbs up onto Cass's shoulder.
Oh, that was
they
quite
are-
an experience.
They are both very unhappy with you for
Were they roughed up?
no.
Okay.
They hid. They were hiding.
You're valid. Yeah,
Good
to
call.
be sure.
But they are very
Good
unhappy
call.
with you for leaving them and not communicating with them.
Didn't
you were
even
gone.
call.
Against my will, Glow.
So you make your way back to Nod's guest house. Although some of the party is still
Not home
going
yet?
on, certainly out in the Crown Land, the Botanic Garden. It is winding down as dawn is approaching, but it has been a night of festivities, even for those who did not make it into the masquerade ball, thanks in part to the entertainment provided by the troopers, the troop that had come up from Rivermeet, who managed to give some solace to all of those who did not win a lottery ticket.
For them.
So you're in Nod's guest house. Nod himself is not currently attending. It is once again the elf, his wife, who greets you and nods as you go up to your rooms. Now, what do you do once you have some privacy?
Did they give me my dodecahedron back?
You got back everything except for the dodecahedron.
Unfucking believable.
Seems concerning.
I found that fair and square. I do apologize. I'm sorry I didn't tell all of you about the dodecahedron of doom that I had sitting in my person. I swear I was going to. I genuinely forgot.
To be fair, I don't think I care that much about it.
I am sorry you all got thrown in prison because of me. My bad.
I mean, it happens. Sometimes it's junk. You ends up in lockup. It's fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
Cass says, so you're telling me that all this time we had a weapon capable of destroying whatever we wanted, for all intents and purposes, and you chose not to discuss with me what we might want to do with it?
Liberal use of we there, DeCassia, but yes, you're correct. A lot happened between the time when we found it and the time since now. We have been accosted by dragons, ghosts,
and
walking mountains, genies, gnolls.
Gnolls. We fought gnolls. Really recently.
We did, yes.
I feel it.
Fine. I'm very tired. I'm going to rest and meditate. Thank you for a lovely evening.
Well,
Bye.
at least
We should do it again sometime.
Don't push it.
He does not respond to Dagmar. Also, you can give me an insight check, please.
Sure. My insight's not great. Oh, I changed my dice. It worked. Plus a 20.
Plus 20. Okay. Yeah, he is clearly pissed. Genuinely angry. But you think it's not so much that because a thing you did put him in prison. Probably more about the fact that you did not. Yeah, he's worried that you didn't trust him. With this knowledge.
I just forgot.
He's also feeling a bit left out because he doesn't. He's never really been been interested in the adventurer's life, and with a natural 20, not a natural 20, but with a 20 on the inside,
Plus 20, yeah.
You realize that Cass might be worrying that you don't need him anymore. That you've found better people to hang around with, and
I mean, we are great.
Immediately, everyone's just like better.
But Cass has
characters. Doesn't get worse than that.
Has left the room.
Dagmar, check the bag for me, would you? Is everything still in there?
Dagmar checks the bag.
I assume Dagmar knows where it was stashed, is all.
Oh, yeah.
I don't imagine we just left a bag of holding on the counter on the way out.
The head is like half out of the bag.
Let me do a quick roll. You find the bag. As you start searching through it, this horrible screaming emanates from it.
All right.
Yes.
Helga fine.
Yep, she sure is.
I assume that means that everything else is fine.
Oh, she's a great alarm system, if that's anything.
Like, if anyone tried to take shit, they're gonna have a bad time.
I am going to bed too. And Vitericus taps out. Reasonably tersely. Well, casts feign death on himself. And just crumples.
And I'm out.
Gods.
Dagmar is, I think, still in her cozy pajamas that she summoned for herself.
Dagmar, I cannot stress to you enough. They are not real. It's illusory.
They feel real.
As long as you think they're real, then that's all that matters, I suppose.
They do look healthy. That's
I mean,
nice.
she can't smell herself. She doesn't know what you guys can smell. She has not changed since you put them on.
Love it.
You did get smelled up by for Cass.
Oh, yeah, I cleaned.
Oh
the
yeah,
gas.
we smell pretty. We smell pretty.
So I've had
like
a bath
Day
in the
old
last
perfume.
couple days.
It's kind of the
You smell
general vibe.
you smell pink.
Alice is going to look at his options, which is Mozart and Dagmar. Terracus, you awake.
Terracus barely has a pulse at this point.
So you actually cast Feign Death.
I did.
Yep.
I want
okay.
it out real quick. I'm
What?
outie 5,000. Thank
So
you.
as
Why are you so dramatic?
he actually, to your eye, it looks like he died. It looks
Oh my God.
indistinguishable from death.
Mm-hmm.
Mozart, Mozart,
What?
I'm not an expert in humans, but is that normal?
Knee bent at a weird angle, arm out.
He wasn't that drunk. Huh. Can I roll a medicine check? How does this do?
Yeah, roll a medicine check, please.
Hang on a sec. Let me just get back to that window. Medicine. Let's go. That is a 25.
Okay. You can determine he's not dead, probably. But he's doing a really good job of looking dead.
That's actually exactly what I was planning to have Mozart say after you were done telling me how. So I don't think he's dead, but gee, he's doing a good job.
Because
I didn't know he could do that. He could look that dead.
the
Did I look that dead?
the description of the spell
You just look that dead.
the spell's
Huh.
description just says indistinguishable from death. It gives no way to determine that they are not actually dead.
Hmm.
So
But there's no source of death.
I'm being generous by letting Morzod think, okay, I don't think he's dead anyway.
Hmm. Can he? That's a thing you can do, right? Pretend real good to be dead. Because Vinny's good at pretending.
I guess. How would I know?
Well, I mean, yeah, he looks real dead, but I'm pretty sure that Vinny's pretending.
And the other thing is,
You're a cop out.
so Vitericus is now blinded and incapacitated for 1 hour. Regardless, you cannot wake
He's
him.
getting a really good sleep just for that 1 hour.
Did not take his shoes off.
Oh, he's unconscious.
Oh.
OC,
Yes.
have you
Yes.
got a pen or some ink or something? There's something I've got to do.
Absolutely. I will procure ink and quill.
Morzard inks a magnificent phallus on Viddy's face.
Not
So
Aussie,
you said
please.
Aussie. That's
No,
more now.
it's Viddy.
No.
I did not take my hand off the chest piece. It's on Viddy's face because Viddy didn't take his shoes off and he passed out. And there's certain things that you got to do. So
There's
a
yeah,
rule.
it's like Mozart doesn't draw things very well, but this is a well practiced.
That's
Yeah.
very descriptive.
No-
Wow, yeah,
Yeah.
no.
No
Yeah,
roll.
That is massive.
There is no roll
A
necessary for
veins.
this.
Yeah,
Yep.
stunning. Shading.
Masterful phallus. Yep. Then
Off the
lovely
skin.
hands Aussie back the supplies and sort of
Thank
nods as if he's completed some important ritual.
Some
I
sort of,
see you're
yes,
of the school of bull hair.
brew and lock ritual, I suppose.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was. So Mozart kind of looks at Vinny and looks at Aussie and he's got a little something on his mind, and he sort of says, "Yeah, why do you think that actor fella was down in the dungeons?"
I mean,
None of us saw him, right?
No, only Morzod saw him.
what actor fellow? What are you talking about?
Or
Yeah, who?
the one that was dressed as a fox, and then
Oh, yes.
you remember they sort of legged it.
That's right, yes.
I thought they were going off to be like rude.
He was in the lockup.
I mean, she did seem to poke at him during the play. So maybe he got drunk and a bit zesty and said some things he shouldn't have.
I mean, they were
I don't.
flirting.
Well, we
They
didn't
looked
see them
like
flirt. They had
They
masks on.
Flirty.
they looked like they was going to have a good time.
Yeah, it looked like they were, going upstairs.
Maybe they had a good time in the dungeon. Who knows?
Oh, that's
Oh my
true. Some people's
God.
into that, I guess.
She
Yeah.
Absolutely.
she was unmasked when she was speaking to him.
Yep.
I don't think Orsi was looking at them.
Orsi was
Everyone
looking
else was.
lovingly at Cass.
Yeah, I'm really trying to. I want to talk to Tarkus about it, but he copped out like a coward.
Oh, yeah.
He
I
can't hear
mean,
me.
sometimes
Maybe-
you just need to, die a little, apparently. It's a real night for it.
I mean, I can understand that. Not what he's had.
Actually, I need to know, Doug. A spell component for Feign Death is Graveyard Dirt. What did you do with it?
Well, so because I've got
Let's
my
eat it.
Tarokka deck, and my Tarokka deck is my spellcasting focus, and therefore sort of makes up the material component.
You don't need
I
to
just
use.
pulled the mists, which is the one that looks like mist floating through a graveyard, and I just tapped it to my forehead, and I was just outie 5,000.
Is
Beautiful.
these cards just?
Yeah, basically the whole
Well,
Tarokka deck is just spilled loose.
52 pickup.
That's got to be a sign.
I don't know what the rules are with them cards.
I'm not touching them.
I
It's just
wouldn't.
paper. I don't believe in it, of course, but still.
Don't believe in paper, ain't you a wizard?
Yeah, it's
You got
weird
me
not
there.
to believe in something that is tangibly provable.
You got
just
me in a
saying.
box. I don't believe in paper. You caught
That's-
me.
That's weird. That's something I'm going to have to tell people. So, yeah, this is our wizard and he don't believe in paper.
Idiot.
Nice, also
I
another
support you
face.
in telling people this.
Okay, please don't start rumors about me.
Who do we talk to? We don't talk to anyone but you. Those guards.
You
are meant to
don't. You don't speak to people. You speak loudly in an area, and everyone overhears you.
You
Just have
do,
rumors
like,
start.
we're not-
It's not just us. You say things.
Other than me, you've
Yeah.
met several other wizards, and how many of them have been particularly agreeable?
I mean, none of them, but all wizards are grumpy.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that fellow from the hills, he was. I mean, he counted as a wizard, did he?
He was fucking
was a
crazy.
wizard.
He was all right.
He was weird as
insane.
shit.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was
Speaking-
weird, but he was all right.
I mean,
Like I said,
fair
you
point.
don't do magic and
Then
come
we're
out
not
okay.
mutually
Anyway,
exclusive.
I need to go knock on a door. I'll be right back.
I guess I'm gonna make Viddy and die, but not. I guess I'll just sleep.
He's gonna walk back into the room, and I'm just like, Mrs. Ness bitted him, and he's wearing an apron, and they're having tea with his corpse.
Sucking down Darjeeling.
Doing all sorts of things to him. Braided his hair. There's bows everywhere.
I mean, he left his shoes on. It was.
No, it was clearly his fault.
Mhm. It's the rules.
As the doctrines of Bruin clearly point out, shoes
Yeah.
on means you're fair game.
Yep, you passed out. You didn't. If you take them off, you've gone to bed. But if you still have your shoes on, you have passed out.
I'm
Look
with
you.
one. All right. Elsie's gonna just walk out, knock on Cass's door. Does he even answer?
No.
I'm in trouble.
Mozart will sort of
Did you say that to yourself, or?
nest.
Yeah,
near the
absolutely.
others.
All right.
Orsi says, yeah, you say, I'm in trouble, and then you hear a very quiet, mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
Fine.
Dagmar will look to Morsad, give a little eyebrow waggle, be like, "Love is that."
I'm right here.
A little
can see you.
Mozarty, a little Mozarty chuckle.
He's gonna go back into the room with the corpses and everyone's no, just for Terracus. So I was gonna be like, everyone's died now. No, it's just those two still.
No, just.
We haven't actually gone to bed. We're still messing around.
Yes, and about an hour in, I'm just going to start awake, right? That's not going to be a gentle return to life. That's going to be like, "Fuh!"
It's sudden gasp.
Got some kick to it.
What's these? I don't know. Who's still awake? Are we all awoken?
No,
I don't know,
Dagmar's
an
gonna go to
hour.
sleep.
I feel like Mozart would have probably drifted off.
I
Yeah.
think Dagmar and Morsad probably just chat until they're asleep.
Because
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it might.
Talk themselves to sleep. Yeah.
I mean, it might take you a little while to wind down, but it's not long before you realise you are quite tired. You've had a long day.
Look, Mozart was pretty relaxed. He's had a big night out, and now he's come home, and that's business as usual.
Okay.
Oh my god, Terracus, you're not dead.
I guess.
He's a little dead. Emotionally.
Ugh. Talk about this in the morning.
Okay.
End scene.
Is that a long rest for everybody?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to press the button. I think I'm still long rested from the last long rest.
Aussie will give the drift globe back to Terracus.
I have died once since, but that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't affect long rests.
You got better.
Yeah.
Long rest.
The sun rises and you all miss it because you're still sound asleep, except for Aussie, who's meditating because elves.
Frickin' elves.
Bags under his eyes.
Eventually.
Can he turn those on and off? Is that a thing?
I think he puts arcane cosmetics over the top.
All right.
Eventually you wake and it's after midday.
Oof.
Nice.
Jeez.
I didn't even have
You
any of the
deserve
good
that
stuff.
sleep.
And you'll remember that Nod's Guest House serves only a very meagre offering when it comes to breakfast. It is not really an eatery.
Yeah, that
Miss
continental
Figs.
breakfast.
No. All right. He's going to get up and go knock on Cass's door again. Is he still sleeping?
Oh, meditating.
And it says, what?
I'm going to go get lunch, I guess. You want to come? I don't know what time of the day it is.
Long, pregnant pause. Finally, the door opens. You can see him. He's cleaned up a bit. He's back to his regular, wizard robes. He looks like himself again.
Yes, de-penguined.
Melville is on his shoulder and is giving you a really nasty glare.
Ooh, a ferretus
Come on.
glare. Yeah, you don't want to.
And Cass says, so you're planning to, I don't know, start any fights there or, challenge a dragon to a duel, or is there anything I should know about?
Is Mozart standing with?
I assume Morzord has
He is
followed
now.
because Morzord
Yeah,
is
'cause
omnipotent.
it's Mozart,
He's always
omnipresent
with all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Aussie's about to say something, but then please, Morzord, do.
I mean, if there is a dragon at breakfast, we'd certainly think about it. Do you know I killed the last one with a chair?
And
He did.
Cass looks at you, Morsel, and says, I need to hear this story.
Well, why don't you come and have a drink with us and I'll tell it?
All right. Just give me a moment. And he just takes a moment to quickly freshen up. And he is happy to join you.
Put his
Yay.
Brunch, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get my letters? I sent you so many.
And he says, no. I assume that they arrived while I was at sea, or might even still be on the ocean, or at the bottom of it.
Explains a lot.
It is
I
very
had kind of-
hazardous on the ocean.
It might have got
Makes
eaten by
sense.
a friend.
I sent a lot of letters.
Well, that was a waste, wasn't it? All that paper.
Just a little bit of a waste of paper, which I apparently don't believe in now, so...
Yeah, Aussie doesn't believe in paper. It was a really weird thing he said last night, and we will never
didn't.
forget.
I didn't say that.
He did.
Morzard, did you draw something on my face?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Getting a vague sense of ink. Just
Oh, there's nothing on your face. It's fine.
All right, fine,
You look
whatever.
great.
Did you sleep funny?
Let me do a roll to determine whether there are any mirrors in these guest rooms.
Oh, does he notice himself in the mirror? No, he's a parakeet. He can't walk past a mirror without looking at himself, of course.
Okay. Well, there
That's a good
are
point.
mirrors.
Mhm.
What's your passive perception again? Ridiculously high, isn't it?
21.
21.
21, yeah.
So you will, at the very least, catch a glimpse of something odd about your face. It is up to you whether Vetericus inspects it in detail.
I suspect so. And so it'll be like, did one of you draw a dick on my face?
No.
No, Vinny, you've got a dick on your face.
Really good.
Gods, he does, doesn't he?
Hey, that's definitely a dick on your face.
Cass says,
There is, yep.
"Oh my, that's quite magnificent."
Right. I almost feel bad destroying it, but I'm also not going out looking like this. So if you'll excuse me for a moment.
Ossie's going to cover Melville's eyes.
Melville starts nibbling on your fingers.
Ooh. Oh.
Oh, he's got... I'm used to beaks. I forget he has teeth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Melville
Beaky
thinks
bites.
he's being playful.
Beaky bite's definitely different to ferret bites.
Mm-hmm.
So you've cleaned up. Vetericus has been defallused.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Badly.
You're heading back to the Grumpy Swallow?
Look, I think so, because we know where it is. And
Yep.
We are creatures of habit.
Mm,
I mean, we do have some things to talk about, don't we? Is it... Should we talk about them?
probably not in the...
Public? Probably
Probably shouldn't. That seems like it would backfire.
But we are telling the story of the dragon
not. No, we can
That's
absolutely
fine
talk.
in public.
Yeah,
in public, yeah. So,
let's do
I mean,
that.
I won't go through the whole rendition of the tale of,
Yeah. We
what's
don't
his name, the dragon.
we don't need a clip
but-
show episode.
Yeah.
Literally, no one needs a clip show episode.
Hang on, I think I wrote his name down. 1 second, going through my notes.
Big boy.
We were asking questions about that in
Barrett.
character the other day. Barrett?
Barrett. Is that
The
Barrett? He's the
former-
old. He's the ex
Yep.
Major Domo. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have breakfast, brunch, whatever meat is on offer. Horselord has his drinks. They tell the story of the dragon loudly. So
Aussie, Cass is not. He is avoiding your gaze. He is making a big point of listening to Morzod. It seems to be genuinely interested, but is not quite ghosting you, Aussie. But he's
but he's ghosting you.
yeah. If you speak to
cold
him,
shoulder.
anytime if you were to speak to him, then he would respond cordially. But otherwise, he's not entirely there with you.
My performance is 7. He's got an excuse.
Well, it is what it is.
To tell the story, are you going to discuss other things that have happened recently?
Oh yeah, I mean, Aussie did write everything that happened in letters. He's going to tell him everything.
Okay, cool.
He's already sent. I know we sent messages back and forth when Aussie learned the message spell, so he knows about like Uncle Near and Aunt Var and stuff.
Yeah.
All that stuff. I don't know if my dad knows about that.
Giant lizard and the ruins and the...
Yeah, everything like Feywilds, I feel?
Yeah.
I think he mentioned the Feywilds when they sent messages, so everything pre-Feywilds.
Cool.
That's a lot. Do you tell him about the Dyson Sphere?
I tell him everything, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Groovy.
So yeah, he is a bit distant to begin with, but by the end, you can see that he a kind of academic fascination has taken over. He is just fascinated by all of the things that are here in the Wandering Isles and how close they all are to each other.
It's crazy. It's like a bunch of crazy crammed in. And I still didn't tell Dad about Uncle Near and Aunt Var, so...
Well, I guess this is, as they say, where the gods woke. Must be why it's crazy.
And why do
And
they
Gidon's-
hang out?
And Gidon's tried to kill us, 4 times? Succeeded at least twice.
10
Or
points
once.
to anyone who is familiar with The Gods Must Be Crazy.
I love The Gods Must Be Crazy.
Yeah.
Coke bottle. Bam.
It's been a while since I've seen it, and it's probably very problematic. It would probably be very problematic
I don't think it's aged very well.
rewatch. But I really enjoyed it as a kid, is what I remember.
I think I was very young when I saw it too. So, but yeah. Anyway, so that's everything that has happened.
Yeah.
Sorry, they didn't get my letters. I didn't know how to do the message spell yet.
Okay,
Sending.
says, that is quite a lot.
He may be understanding the weird ass fucking trauma that we've all.
He looks at the whole group of you and looks back at Orsi and says, Orsi, I don't think I can do this.
Adventuring?
Adventuring. I don't think I can.
It's not really good for your health, if I'm honest.
I mean, let me rephrase. I don't want to do that. I don't fully understand why you do it.
Neither do I.
Really on purpose, is it? Things just keep
I
happening.
mean,
It just sort of keeps happening.
kind of just fall into one thing. Yeah, I mean, my job really is here, but yeah, I don't know. There's just so many mysteries here too. I want to solve them, I guess.
He says, what did you... Tell me more about this... About what you're doing for the Academy. If you're allowed to. Even if you're not allowed
Well, I
to.
mean, yeah, friend DA, of course I'd tell you. How noisy is the bar? Are we chilling? Is it... Are we walking?
Going to say you're not being overheard.
Okay, cool.
You're all, as a group, getting good at not being overheard.
Oh,
Not that we do, but we could.
Well,
it's wayfinding, right? Not pathfinding. Wayfinding? No, that's not one. It's pathfinding, right?
Yep.
What are we? What's that job again?
You're
Pathfinders.
Pathfinders of the Coruscant Academy.
It is pathfinding, yeah.
We've got all of these weird ass multipliers that we have to calculate every time we do something. I'm sorry, my other game is Pathfinder, and I'm so salty about it.
I mean, yeah, I remember when I left and you had to cover for me, and I went down to the docks and I took that boat that got eaten by the Titan of Gendanon. Because I was hired by Izud here in the Wandering Isles to become a Pathfinder. Find magical artifacts and I bring them back to him for the Coruscant Academy. I guess I also technically work for the Society, but they are really underfunded. Seriously.
And he says, I guess it makes sense that there are, people trying to stop dangerous magic falling into the wrong hands.
I mean, collectors. Always a problem.
Yeah. Not for me, though. Not for me. Well.
Okay.
I need to figure out
long and short of it.
What is for me, though? That's the question.
What do you want to do?
I'll bet you could get just a temporary job, like with them lads who make the iced cream or something.
Yeah.
What?
Are you suggesting
serving food on the docks?
DeCass. Oh my gods.
Be an awful lot of fun.
He's basically revered where we come from. Have you seen him? I mean, yes, we're looking at him. He's very handsome.
Exactly.
He's really handsome.
I bet he can sell a lot of ice cream.
Oh my god.
This is true.
You know what? I was the prettiest back home.
I believe that.
I can see that.
Absolutely, Morswood. Very handsome.
I keep my language keeps going all over the place. Remembering that Kaz is blind. When I say he looks, I mean he turns his head.
He's got Melville there. Yeah, Melville looks at people
because he actively likes to acknowledge people by turning his head towards them.
He's got the gestures.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you can kind of do whatever you want. I mean, you have Jura. Popular skill set.
And he says, Maybe I'll put my name up on the bulletin board. Abjura available.
Always
There are
talk
a
to
lot
the
of
Coruscant
bulletin
Academy. And then you might fall in with some shady crowd if you do that.
Yeah, I might end up working for your father.
Yeah! Avoid that if you could. I mean, did you tell him that you left?
He said some things about you.
That's nothing new, Morsord. That's honestly a lot nicer than it usually is.
Oh.
Kind of nice.
Oh.
Cass says, well, look, enough about me. It has become clear that my inconvenience is secondary to what you've gone through and perhaps have yet to go through. What do you plan to do now?
Like me personally?
Well, yeah. I mean, and he turns his head and sort of gestures to all of you. I mean, that was also for all of you, because it seems that where you go, Orsi also goes. But what's next?
Well,
I didn't have like specific plans.
It's a floating rock in river meat, and I want to figure out why it floats.
Yes, and I can help you with that now. I say, idly strumming my lyre.
Please do not explode the rock. We have talked about this.
Yeah, and it's the coolest idea we've had.
Bass, I want to make a floating wizard tower one day. How cool would that be? Come and live with me. We can be floating wizards above the Wandering Isles. The Wandering Wizards. Higher than Gemdaman. Don't tell him I said that.
Do you hear thunder? Can I roll perception?
Oh.
You can roll perception if you like.
I'm just gonna see if I perceive a thunderous noise. Perception. Nah. That is a 5.
Not with the 7. There is no thunder.
No, it's too noisy.
Yeah.
We have to we have a thing that we have to do for a person.
That's true. That's true. We got to find some stuff out.
Cass? If you're talking about what happened, Cass was there. He knows.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm just not saying what it is in public.
Okay. All right. I can send. People messages.
Subtle.
I'm just saying.
Oh.
That's a thing we have coming up on the schedule.
That's right. Cass, you love gossip.
Yes, but we can work on that from anywhere, right? That's just going to take some time.
Yeah, you didn't really give us any leads.
Let's figure it out later. Anyway, What are you going to do? I feel bad if we leave. What are you going to do here? I suppose, God, worst case scenario, father is here.
Cass says, well, I mean, I've currently nowhere to stay except for here, but...
Spare room.
Spare room.
I might be able to talk to someone at the academy.
Vitarius snaps his fingers as though a thought has just occurred to him. What about that priest of Feynothwin? Surely they could use somebody to help around, like to help with things. I mean, priests always have use for abjurers, right? There's always going to be hoodlum youths who are trying to vandalize stuff. Having an abjurer on hand has to be a positive.
Wait, what do you think abjurers do?
I don't know. What do abjurers do?
Oh my God. He hides magical objects and things like that.
No, exactly.
Is that actually a specialty?
Yeah, that's exactly what he does.
Cass says,
Really?
and you're thinking that a priest of the god of truth and justice and everything out in the open is going to make use of somebody who is excellent at hiding things and disguising them. And
look, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you saw Feynothwin, god of truth and justice, and not hiding in the shadows?
And he says,
Darkish.
not recently that I recall.
So,
Is this going
I
somewhere?
think since they have arrived at the Wandering Isles, Faenothman may have had a slight shift in priorities, and hiding things may in fact be on the cards for a follower of Faenothman these days.
Buddy, I think you and me have to have a conversation about your relationships.
What do you mean? This is win-win. Yes, the priest gets to hide stuff. Cass gets employment that isn't selling ice cream down at the docks, and probably room and board. I see this as an absolute win.
I mean, Cass, you could probably just buy a mansion here. You do know he's rich, right?
I mean, you could do that too, I guess.
What do you need a job for then?
And Cass says, not so much the funds that I need, it is activity.
Something to do, Dags. You lose your
Work,
mind
yeah.
if you got nothing to do.
I went crazy sitting in that cell for 2 hours.
Although, I mean, if you're a wizard, you got like a book or something you want to write, don't you? Thought they all had something like that.
Write a novel.
And Cass says, oh, I swear, we're too young for that. I still have so much to learn.
Right. We're only in our 30s, Morsword. There's like a solid 800 years left for us.
You thought
Don't
about
get eaten by a dragon.
fiction.
Cass says, fiction?
Mm.
What sort of fiction?
I don't know. Just make up some saucy stories about your days at wizard school. I'd buy them. You'd do a whole series.
Oh, ma'am, I do not need I do not need an excuse to do that.
Yeah, that's not
Exactly.
fiction, Dagmar. Yeah.
Right
Change
about
the
us.
Bio-
names. Salacious it up.
I will.
It's a biography at that point.
I might add, though, that I do generally have a difficult time writing.
Well, you'd have to dictate.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fair.
True, yeah.
I mean, you could employ someone for that, though.
Yeah, you're rich.
It's true.
So this is now the dungeon master saying, "I would like to know what the party's next plan is."
Elsie wants to go to the floating rock or the volcano, but it's up to everyone else.
I'm keen. To
Oh,
go back
wait,
to
no,
the
sorry. We
evidence.
need to do the Governor Toll stuff first. Sorry. I'm so
Oh, hey,
I got
yes, we've got a whole.
I got so excited about the volcano, I forgot.
We just got given a big-ass plot hook.
Yes.
Sorry, I like volcanoes. I got excited about it.
This is what Dagmar was talking about. Did everyone forget about it already? Is she the only one
I
who
would like-
remembered the
Yep.
quest?
Morzod,
Okay, I was asking
It's on
about
his mind.
Bareth because I was going to send Bareth a message. That's why I was asking. I swear.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't focus on more than one thing at once. Well, at
Party would
least
like to
Cass.
follow the quest line we have been presented with.
yeah,
At least for the next
there was a guy
while.
with punctuation over his head, and we spoke to him.
We will be in Heronspurt for quite a while, so
I would like to activate the quest line.
Tell
try
me
and
more
figure out
about
this.
the quest.
I mean, what a story if the princess really isn't the princess, you know. So
That's a question. What is she if she's not a princess?
Yeah,
what is she if she's not the princess?
I suppose you wouldn't know if she's supposed to be the one that didn't go out ever.
I feel like we should definitely get you permanent board at the academy, though. I feel like they're safer there. Changelings running around or something. I'm
Change.
gonna send a
like
message.
Okay.
Should I send a message to Bareth? Real quick.
Who's Bareth?
Yes, please.
The ex-major domo.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Sending a message to Bareth. Hey, Bareth. It's Orsi.
Crazy,
Technically,
right, huh?
this doesn't violate my ban. Do you know what happened to Governor Toll? Do you know what happened to Governor? Yeah, that's all right.
Cool. There's a pause, and the message comes back. I was outside, but I heard raised voices.
Raised voices.
Not sure what he argued with the princess about, but this is David thinking through the wording.
Yeah, please do. I'm taking notes. Raised voices.
But that was the last I heard of him. But that was the last. No. Okay, I only got 5 words for that.
Welcome to my hell.
That was all I heard.
That was all I heard. Raised voices. That was all he heard. Of course, he will relate that. Well, I have one more thing that I would like to do. Probably, well, not in this game, but as horrible as it sounds, I think I have to make a trip to the library.
That's dangerous, that is. Do you want me to bring a chair?
That is a great place to end tonight's session. We will be back in a week's time to visit the horrors of the library where Wazzy's father works. And a magical floating folding chair may or may not be necessary, depending on how the conversation goes. So, thank you very much for watching. We will be back in 1 week. Bye.